Hi, this is Holly with Presence Point, and I don't know about you, but I am not much of a cook or a baker. In fact, if my close friends are watching right now or my family members are watching, they would say that is like the biggest understatement of the year. I've never found myself really connected to or attracted by or involved much in the kitchen except to clean up dishes after a wonderful dinner my husband's made. And he's also taken up bread baking in the last year or so, so there's been a bit of a renewed interest. And then during that time, I started to kind of just pay a little more attention to what's happening. How do flavors work? How do bakers really make a beautiful cake or a wonderful cupcake or a really beautiful cookie? And in that process, I've begun to watch Baking with Julia. So you may have heard of Julia Child. She wrote the Joy of Cooking cookbook a number of years ago. And of course, after the Julia and Julia movie, we in our family began to say, Bon appetit, quite a bit. But what was fun about this to me is the other night as I was watching this wonderful show where she was now 85, so even this has been quite some time because she's since passed away. But as I was watching this show, she no longer does the baking in her kitchen, but she has guests come in and bake. And she had a wonderful executive chef from the Ritz-Carlton in Naples, Florida at that time, come in and do the baking that evening. And she was making, or they were making, salmon mousse puffs and mascarpone vegetable eclairs. Now just saying those are like, oh my goodness, the savory of it with the wonderful bread and it just was, sounded so fabulous to me. But as I was watching this, the chef had taken a cucumber and juiced it and then took part of the juice and matched it with some milk of some sort and was heating it up over the stove. And he said, as he picked up a little salt, let's make sure we put some salt in to enhance the flavor of the cucumber, to make sure we can really taste it. And you know, there are moments when you see things in the secular world and you go, whoa, spiritual moment, spiritual lesson. It just slapped me in the face. And I went, oh my goodness, Jesus talked about that, right? So we go back to the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5, verse 13. You are the salt of the earth. But if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. The old salt, the tasteless salt becomes worthless, just absolutely worth nothing. And I thought to myself, how often do we as shepherd leaders need to be reminded that we are to be salt? And I thought, how often do I enhance the situations I'm in? The conversations I have, meeting with friends, you know, playing games with my grandkids, whether it's that or even in a business situation or a ministry situation or a board situation. How often do I, as an under-shepherd of the Father, enhance the situations and the conversations I'm in? What about my social media posts? Do they enhance the conversation? Does it make it salty in a way that people want to just feel it and taste it and want more of it? And I was also drawn to the balance of how much salt he put in. I always hated when a baker or cook said, just enough or just a pinch. My mother used to do that. I never knew how much that really was. But if you taste it, you know. And the people around you know when you're salty. The people around us know when we put on too much salt, right? And a flavor is not appealing. So today I'm going to ask you to think about Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. Think about the men and women sitting there as he's talking, in that case, the disciples, and saying, you are to be salt on this earth. And so I'm just going to ask you now, are you? Do you enhance the flavor of the sheep in your life when you're with them? Do you enhance the conversations? Do they want more of what you say? I pray that that speaks to your heart this week, that it kind of goes down deep into where your soul can ruminate on it a bit and potentially use it as you live deeply into your calling. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day.